The Journey of Enlightenment through the Lotus Sutra. Introduction. The Lotus Sutra, or Sadharma Puaka Skra, Skra of the Lotus of the Wonderful Dharma, is one of the most revered texts in Mahayana Buddhism. It has been celebrated across East Asia, particularly in China, Japan, and Korea, as the crown jewel of the Buddha's teaching. Unlike other Buddhist scriptures that may present enlightenment as accessible only to monastics or advanced practitioners, the Lotus Sutra emphasizes the universality of enlightenment. It proclaims that all beings possess the Buddha nature and have the capacity to realize Buddhahood. The text is more than a philosophical treatise. It is a visionary narrative that unfolds the Buddha's skillful means, upkya, the ultimate purpose of his teachings, and the assurance that Buddhahood is not reserved for a select few, but is the inherent destiny of all beings. The journey of enlightenment through the Lotus Sutra, therefore, is not merely a private, inward path, but also a cosmic drama of inclusion, transformation, and boundless hope. This essay explores that journey, examining the central themes of the Lotus Sutra: universal, Buddhahood, skillful means, faith, and devotion, the role of the Bodhisattva, and the timeless vision of the Buddha. Together, these themes sketch a profound map of the Buddhist path, where enlightenment is not only a personal liberation, but also a collective awakening. 1. The universality of Buddhahood. At the heart of the Lotus Sutra is the radical assertion that all beings, without exception, can attain Buddhahood. This teaching overturns earlier hierarchical distinctions found in some Buddhist schools, where the ideal of the Arhat, the one who has achieved liberation from suffering, was sometimes seen as the pinnacle of spiritual practice. The Lotus Sutra reinterprets such distinctions. It teaches that the paths of the Ravaka disciple, the Pratyeka Buddha, solitary enlightened one, and the Bodhisattva are not separate and final destinations, but provisional stages leading toward the single, ultimate vehicle. This one vehicle teaching declares that all paths converge in Buddhahood. This vision democratizes enlightenment. The sutra affirms that monks, nuns, lay people, women, children, and even beings traditionally thought incapable of liberation, as the Dragon King's daughter, are destined for Buddha. The universality of Buddhahood transforms the journey of enlightenment from an exclusive ascent of a few chosen individuals into a collective journey of humanity, and all sentient beings point to. Skillful means upkya. The Buddha is compassionate. Pedagogy. One of the most important contributions of the Lotus Sutra is its doctrine of skillful means, upkya. The Buddha, according to the sutra, employed various provisional teachings to suit the diverse capacities of his listeners. These teachings may have appeared distinct or even contradictory, but they were all compassionate strategies designed to guide beings gradually toward the ultimate truth. The parable of the burning house illustrates this concept vividly. A father sees his children playing inside a house on fire, knowing they are too absorbed in their games to heed his warnings. He lures them out by promising them different kinds of carts suited to their interests: goat carts, deer carts, and ox carts. Once they escape, he gives them the greatest cart of all, the magnificent ox cart. Here, the Buddha is the compassionate father, beings are the children, and the burning house represents the world of suffering, samsara. The provisional teachings correspond to the lesser carts, and the ultimate teaching of the one vehicle is the great ox cart. Through this lens, the entire Buddhist canon is reinterpreted. Earlier teachings are not dismissed as false, but understood as skillful expedients leading to the full realization of Buddhahood. The journey of enlightenment, then, is one of progressive awakening where faith in the Buddha's guidance allows practitioners to see beyond apparent differences and embrace the unity of the Dharma. 3. Faith, devotion, and the transformative power of the sutra. Unlike some Buddhist texts that emphasize meditation or philosophical analysis as the primary vehicles to awakening, the Lotus Sutra highlights the power of faith and devotion. To hear, recite, copy, or simply revere the sutra is said to plant seeds of enlightenment. This emphasis reflects the sutra's understanding of the Dharma as a living power, not just a set of doctrines. By entrusting oneself to the sutra, one opens to the transformative energy of the Buddha's wisdom and compassion. The text often assures practitioners that even a single sincere act of devotion, such as offering flowers to the sutra or rejoicing in its teaching, generates immeasurable merit. Faith in the Lotus Sutra is not blind belief, but a profound trust in the Buddha's vision of universal salvation. It empowers practitioners to see themselves and others not as ordinary beings trapped in samsara, but as future Buddhas, already endowed with boundless potential. 4. The Bodhisattva path in the Lotus Sutra. The Bodhisattva occupies a central role in the Lotus Sutra, more than any other figure. The Bodhisattva embodies the synthesis of wisdom and compassion that the sutra celebrates. Among the many bodhisattvas who appear in the text, Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara, Guanyin, Kannon, and Bodhisattva Manju stand out as exemplars of compassion and wisdom. But perhaps the most striking image is that of the countless bodhisattvas who sprang up from beneath the earth in chapter 15. These bodhisattvas of the earth are entrusted with the mission of propagating the Dharma in the age after the Buddha's passing. This vision redefines the journey of enlightenment. Rather than being a solitary ascent, it becomes a vow to work tirelessly for the enlightenment of all beings. The Bodhisattva's journey is endless, fueled by the realization that one's own awakening is inseparable from the awakening of others. 5. The Eternal Buddha, a timeless vision, one of the most revolutionary teachings of the Lotus Sutra, appears in chapter 16, the lifespan of the Tathagata. Here the Buddha reveals that his enlightenment did not occur for the first time under the Bodhi tree in India, but is an eternal reality. The historical Buddha, Kyamuni, is a manifestation of the timeless Dharma body. His appearance in the world, his teaching, and even his entry into Parinirvana are all skillful means to guide beings. The true Buddha is eternal, ever present, and ever active in leading beings to enlightenment. This teaching radically transforms the journey of enlightenment. It means that the Buddha is not a distant figure of the past, but a living presence in the unfolding of the Dharma. It instills confidence that practitioners are never alone. The compassionate guidance of the Buddha pervades the cosmos. 6. The Lotus Sutra as a cosmic drama of awakening. The Lotus Sutra does not merely describe enlightenment, it dramatizes it. The text is filled with grand assemblies, cosmic visions, jeweled stapas rising from the earth, and infinite Buddhas gathered across space and time. These scenes are not mere literary embellishments. They communicate the sutra's central message. Enlightenment is not confined to a narrow individual path, but is a cosmic, collective reality. The imagery of the Lotus Sutra expands the practitioner's horizon. One realizes that the journey of enlightenment is not just about one's personal liberation from suffering, but about participating in a universal drama of awakening that involves all beings. Point 7. Practical implications. Living the Lotus Sutra. How does one embody the journey of enlightenment through the Lotus Sutra in daily life? The sutra emphasizes several practices: faith and devotion, cultivating trust in the Buddha's vision and reverence for the sutra, recitation and study, engaging with the text not merely as literature but as a living dharma, sharing and propagation, encouraging others to encounter the sutra in the spirit of compassion. Bodhisattva practice living with the vow to benefit others, embodying generosity, patience, and wisdom. Through these practices, one aligns one's life with the cosmic vision of the sutra. The journey of enlightenment is no longer abstract, but a concrete path of faith, action, and compassion. 8. The Lotus Sutra in Mahayana traditions. The influence of the Lotus Sutra across East Asian Buddhism cannot be overstated. In China, it inspired Tiante philosophy, which articulated the idea of the perfect teaching, Yuan. In Japan, it became the foundational text for Nichiren Buddhism, where chanting the title of the sutra, Namu Mia Renkyo, is considered a direct expression of faith and a means to realize Buddhahood. These traditions illustrate how the sutra's vision has been actualized in diverse ways, yet always with the same core message: enlightenment is universal, accessible, and present in this very moment. Conclusion: the Lotus of the Wonderful Dharmatha, journey of enlightenment through the Lotus Sutra, is one of boundless inclusivity, profound trust, and cosmic vision. It teaches that Buddhahood is not the privilege of a few but the destiny of all. It reveals that the Buddha's teachings, diverse as they may seem, are skillful means leading to the same ultimate goal. It assures practitioners that faith and devotion to the Dharma are powerful enough to transform lives, and it entrusts them with the mission of Bodhisattva practice in the world. Above all, it unveils the eternal presence of the Buddha and the infinite scope of awakening. The Lotus Sutra is not just a text to be studied, but a living drama to be entered, a vision that transforms how one sees oneself, others, and the universe. To walk the path of the Lotus Sutra is to awaken to one's own Buddha nature and to vow that no being be left behind. In this way, the journey of